Clemson, Clemson, Clemson. The AP poll has given you so many chances, and you guys have fallen short each time. First, it was barely beating Georgia Tech, 14-8. And in that game, if we look, they won. They had to win it by scoring in the fourth quarter. And DJ Uiagalelei went 18 for 25, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 51.3 quarterback rating. He is better. He is good on the ground, though. 8 rushes for 46 yards. Can't complain about that. Shipley had a good game, 21 for 88 yards. The game before that, they had an easy one against South Carolina State. Though they scored 49. Uiagalelei, had a good game. He went 14 for 24, 171 yards, 1 touchdown, though he had 1 pick. His quarterback rating was 50.7. He had 5 rushes for 23 yards. Shipley had another good game, though. 8 rushes for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then we all know what happened in the Clemson-Georgia game. Uiagalelei threw 1 pick, but he was just straight up awful in that game. And then Clemson will take on Boston College next week. Sorry, I'm just going through the Clemson on the ESPN app to make sure I'm getting my facts right. Clemson against North Carolina State. They lost in overtime, obviously. We all know that. DJ Uiagalelei went for 12 for 26, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 46.6 quarterback rating. And he was the leading rusher with 9 carries for 63 yards. Shipley had his worst game, not too great game, as North Carolina State was able to shut him down. 11 carries for 36 yards. Ross, 77 yards, though. Clemson allowed Deliri to score 4 touchdowns on them. 238 yards, 32 for 44. And let's look at North Carolina State, if I'm not mistaken. North Carolina State lost to Mississippi State. They've blown out Southern Florida, and they've blown out Furman. So North Carolina State is, about where they are usually, They're nothing special, but they're nothing bad. They're kind of just, they're the wolf pack that's in the middle of the pack, But Clemson has shown their mortality 3 times now. Georgia, and maybe they were, maybe Georgia's loss demoralized them. Who knows? Or maybe, in theory, I know I might be crazy for saying this, but maybe DJ Uiagalelei is the problem. Though, it also doesn't help that Clemson's offensive line gave up 5 sacks. They gave up 7 quarterback hurries, 47 tackles, 17 solo. 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. So Clemson's offensive line could have done a better job, yes. But I think DJ Uiagalelei has shown a trend of he hasn't been that great. He's not Trevor Lawrence. He certainly isn't Deshaun Watson. He is just, I don't know. Maybe he is the problem. Maybe he isn't. Maybe it's the play calling. I'm going to be completely honest and say Clemson, Georgia was the only Clemson game I've watched. I don't know what's going on in these games. But the fact that Clemson, who has gone to the college football playoff like a million times in the last few years, who has finished top 5 at least in the ranking, in the recruiting classes for the last however long, who's overtaken Florida State when Florida State was the titan of the conference, may be gone now. Clemson may be gone. Maybe it's a down year for Clemson and they'll come back next year, but it's safe to say Clemson is no longer in the playoffs anymore. They may still have hope for the season if they somehow get things turning around, though they play Boston College next. Then they'll go to Syracuse, who's doing better than as of late. Then they'll go to Pittsburgh. And then they'll come home to play Florida State. And while Florida State is 0-4 right now, they've still been pretty competitive in their games. I mean, Florida State, it's not like Florida State has been blown out or anything. Florida State is still a competitive team, and I'm sure Clemson will play down to their competition. Then they'll go to Louisville. Then they'll get an easy one against UConn. And then they'll be playing the team, which I mentioned earlier in the weekend, may be their successor, Wake Forest. And then they'll travel to South Carolina, who may even be better than Clemson right now. It's looking bad for Clemson. And as Paul Feinbaum said earlier today, Clemson is done. I seriously think that the AP poll is merciful for keeping them in the AP top 25 still, because they've just fallen apart. Like, I don't think it's their defense. I think it's their offense. Their offense has been atrocious. It's not what it's been the last 7 years or whatever. DJ Uiagalelei is not looking like a 5-star quarterback. Shipley is looking like the running back he should be. I will give him that. Ross has been good. Nagata looks like he's their next best receiver. But I'm not gonna lie, it's disappointing for Clemson's offense. They have not been good. And I think it's time to say it. Clemson's done. It looks like it is about to be the era of Wake Forest and whoever rises out of the ACC. I guess we're still yet to see what happens with conference play and stuff. But I think it's safe to say Clemson's done for this year. Maybe they'll have hope in the future because they're still recruiting well. And they might get Archie Manning. I mean, they were able to at least get a few visits out of him. He's still a junior in high school. But that'll be a few years down the road. And if they keep playing the way they are, is he really going to want to come play for them still? Dabo better hope he better build a good relationship with him. I'm safe to say, though, Clemson is done this year. At least out of the playoffs. They could still come back for the ACC championship if they get things turning around. But Clemson's looking bad. What do you guys think of Clemson? What did you guys think of the game yesterday? Let me know down below. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Just let me know how I can improve, how I can get better. Hope you guys have a great night. See you guys. Peace.